Well, welcome to a new Harry's Garage video, and we're off on a road trip. And I couldn't be more excited because we don't normally do it this time of year in January, but there's an event I've always wanted to go to at the end of January, and that is the ice event, as it's termed, International Concours d'Elegance at Saint Moritz, on the lake in Saint Moritz. And I've seen photographs of it, and it seems quite bonkers, really, to hold a Concours d'Elegance on this frozen lake in Saint Moritz. And as everyone goes, the top end go there, there's going to be Pagani there and that sort of thing. I thought, do you know what? I've got this Maserati Levante. That's what we're going to do with it in January. And since the last video that went live, there seemed to be quite a lot of excitement about this car when it did. That video went out in early December. The one thing I've been trying to sort out was some winter tyres for it. And the wheels it came on were 22-inch wheels in a size that I just could not get winter tyres for. I actually wanted all-season tyres, and I was just going nowhere. Just couldn't find any to fit the car. And it was on Levante tyres of all things, so they were utterly unsuitable for a trip to Saint Moritz. And I thought, do you know what, I'll phone Maserati just in case they might have a spare set of wheels in the press garage. And they did. And these are them. So they're 21-inch wheels, and I've got a full set of Pirelli Scorpion winter tyres on it. So I was very pleased. And they asked, what are you going to do? And I said, well, I'm hoping to go to Saint Moritz. I'm going out to see the event on the frozen lake. And they said, funny you should say that. We are hosting this year because we're launching a car there. We're showing a car there. Would you like to be a guest of us? And I can't believe it. But I am a guest of Maserati. So there's a Maserati unveiling. And then on the Saturday, we have Trident on Ice, test drive of Ice Track. And this is at a separate location. So not only are we seeing the event, but I'm also going to be driving some Maseratis on the ice. And I was overjoyed. Thank you very much. And then within a few hours of that happening, I got another call, this time from Ferrari, who said, you said you wanted to do a Corsa Pilota Classica event, which is you do these track events at Fiorano, but rather than with the modern cars, they have a fleet of classic Ferraris, and I'd heard about this. They're just amazing. You do Daytonas, 308s, Mondials, 550s, all sorts of things. And I said, I'd quite like to do that. Well, it turns out on the Sunday, Ferrari are having a Pilota Classica event on the frozen lake. And they said, would you like to come? So I can't believe it, but I got 2 invites within a few hours itself to go out there. And that's where we're heading. So it's about 800 and something miles from here. And obviously I'm going to do a road trip sort of video, but the first stage, we're going to just drive straight out to Saint Moritz. We're staying in Reims, Chateau Sarcy, and then from there straight into Saint Moritz. But on the way back, I have a little route I've always wanted to do. We're going to stay in Andermatt, and the passes are closed at this time of year. So ways of doing the Furka pass in the middle of January. How do you do that? Well, I'll show you how. But for now, take it down to the house, pack it up, and then you'll join us somewhere in France tomorrow. Well, morning. We are in France. Last night we stayed at that Chateau Sarcy, which we stayed in when we came down in the Rolls Royce a few weeks ago. It was a very nice stay. The slight surprise was it was gourmet night, and it's just something to be aware of if you ever go there, because it's quite an expensive menu. Last time we were there, it was a €45 fixed menu, seasonal. Thought that was really good. Last night it wasn't that at all. It was near £100 a head, and 6 or 7 courses, and a very different experience. But anyway, it was all very nice. We've done 587 miles since we left home. Yeah, 24.7 mpg. I mentioned that just because it's one of the surprises with this car, that actually if you point it at an auto route or a motorway and select cruise, as we're doing now, what am I at? I'm at 130 on the cruise, and you can serious drink fuel if you go and attack a B road or whatever and use some of the acceleration. But it has this other side, this easy going nature when you get in. And that's actually why we've done quite a lot of miles in this car now. We've 2,300 miles in it already. And it's just slotted straight in where the Range Rover Sport, departed. This comes straight in, and you just go use it. And there's a number of things I quite like about it. One, obviously, being a September 22 car, it has no ADAS, so there's no buttons to turn on. The other nice thing is CarPlay instant, just always connects, and no issues there. And I like the way the screen isn't actually dominant. It's not like the Range Rover Sport. There's had a huge iPad, as I term it, stuck to the dash, and that's the way it's, initially you think, oh, we want the biggest screen as possible, oh, it's a bit small. No, it just is the right size, has all the functionality that you want. Cruise control, it's interesting, when I put out the initial video on this, people say, well, hasn't it got radar cruise? Well, that is because the original owner of this car did not tick the box for it. And having lived with radar cruise, it's a 50-50. Jury's out for me whether it's a good thing or not, because it can get annoying. It just catches trucks if you're on a corner and you're not in your lane, and you just monitor it. And I quite like the honesty of a straightforward cruise control, set the cruise, job done. And the other thing I've learnt since it arrived, although, let's see it has a very Italian speedo. So 130 kilometres is the limit. There's a car, unfortunately, in front of me at the moment. But I need to put about 138, 139 kilometres on the speedo to actually be 130 kilometres if I look at Waze. So, yes, a very Italian speedo. That goes with the territory. That's why I bought a Maserati. One more thing, which came as a fantastic surprise. I was talking about in the garage how we put the winter tyres on it and spoke to Maserati. I had booked an inspection on the car with a Maserati dealer, Greypool in Birmingham, and they arranged for the wheels and tyres to go up there. I hadn't been there. I just wanted the car checked over. I knew I was going to do this trip. It's going to be 2,000 miles. It was a new car to me. It was last serviced in July 24. And although it's fine, it doesn't need a service because they have these 2-year service intervals, I'm not keen on 2-year service intervals. I just want it checked over. And I went up there, they checked it over. It says, Mr. Metcalf, do you realise that your Maserati Levante actually has a manufacturer warranty on it until September 2027? I said I had no idea. And it turns out the previous owner had actually bought an extended warranty, and it's a bumper-to-bumper warranty like a new car, same as you get on a new car, all the way through. And for whatever reason, it was never communicated to the company that I bought the car from. They'd got it from auction. Nothing in the description said about this. The only way of spotting it is when you plug in the registration chassis number into the Maserati database when you take your car for a service. So that was a fantastic surprise as well. So it has a 2-year warranty. So actually the warranty I bought for it has been transferred to the Jaguar Project 8. And so that's got a 2-year warranty instead. So anyway, we'll carry on. We're 200 miles away from Saint Moritz, and we've got to get to the Swiss border. We're by Vignette, and then I think you'll rejoin us there's a sort of pass going over to Saint Moritz. If you look on the map, Saint Moritz is right over in the east. It's very close to Italy, and there's a lovely pass that you take in as you go over. I've not been on it, but it's about 2,400 metres. So pretty serious, but it is actually open all year round because it's the main route into Saint Moritz. So I guess hopefully the sun's just come out. It's been a bit gloomy most of the day, but sun is coming out, and I can't wait to be up in the Alps. Just started climbing, and I've noticed the temperature's down to 1 degree. Warning of ice on road has come up, and unfortunately I was hoping it was going to be sunny up here because it was flashes of blue sky, but I think we're just climbing into the mist. If you look out the front, you can just sort of see what's going on. Saint Moritz is forecast to be -11 tonight. The high of -2 and -3 tomorrow morning. I have this choice down here of driver modes, and I can do, no, you're all right. I'm just in normal at the moment. I could put sport on, and that makes it make really nice noises, or I can put it into ice, and ice is its more four-wheel drive mode, and I have a suspicion that might be the better mode, but yeah, we'll see. It's a lovely road, beautiful, but we're in a bit of a convoy ahead because I think there's a lot of people heading to Saint Moritz, ready for the excitement of tomorrow. And the time now is 4:30, so about another hour and a bit of daylight. Not too much. I'm not following him through. Some proper squiggles coming up ahead. Must be near this toll, surely. Well, we just got to the top of the pass. Here it is. I was hoping for a spectacular view, but it isn't. But there's plenty of snow about, as you can see. They do clear this road constantly. It's open 24 hours. And yeah, I just discovered on iPhone, if you look at compass, it gives you altitude, and we're at 2,240 meters up here. It's quite high. And then we're going to drop down into Saint Moritz. I'd quite like to get away. We'd had to overtake a truck on the way up. I know we've had the road to ourselves. There was an RS6 ahead of us as well. It was all good. This is our little test to show the altitude we're on. A bag of crisps, which is about to explode because we bought it at lower altitude, shall we say. Yeah, it's not, I better get it down the mountain if we're not going to have that pop all over the interior. But yeah, no, plan now is literally just to drop down into Saint Moritz, which is only about 10 miles away, and then we're going off to the hotel, and our hotel is actually the other side of the lake from Saint Moritz. We overlook Saint Moritz to join the Maserati party. Quite fun. A little bit of snow on the road, but nothing to worry about. It's -6 as well, and as I say, forecast to be -11 overnight. Right, my camera lady is getting quite cold. I think we ought to dash off. Well, we've just gone through Saint Moritz. It was just getting ready, lots of activity. I saw a McLaren F1 was the first car I saw as we were coming in Saint Moritz. The last car I expected to see on the road, but there it was. And yeah, it's all set up, bit of a queue, fun cars going about. We are now heading to the hotel where I'm just going to park up. Let's have a look how many miles we have done. Yeah, 814 miles to get here. 21.7 mpg because it went down a bit because of the pass and things like that. Easy run, yeah, 15 hours. And good conditions by the look of things. But what we're going to do is find a hotel, park up, and then tomorrow I'm going to go to this International Concours d'Elegance on ice as it's termed, in Saint Moritz, and do a separate video, I think, on that. And then you'll rejoin us on Saturday, because Saturday is when I'm driving Maseratis on ice at a slightly different venue. So that sounds a lot of fun. So we'll do that, and then we'll do the big trip home at the end of the video, and there we'll just show you some new passes to do, or new activities to do if you are in the Alps at this time of year. And then I'll do a summary of how I find the Maserati Levante Trofeo when we get back, which will be about, would have meant I've done nearly 4,000 miles in it, 3,500 miles, something like that. So yeah, lots to do. First off, we find our hotel, which is just up here somewhere. I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it there. Well, morning. This is the stage where we get to drive on ice in Maseratis. If you look around here, there's a braking test, there's all sorts of things going on here. I've just driven up in my car, my Trofeo, and I've got to quickly put it back in the car park because all these cars are electric. We're in Switzerland. They are very environmentally conscious, and they don't allow you to do all this skidding and mucking about in internal combustion engines. You can only do it in electric, and the whole range of Maserati's electric cars are here. There's Grecali, there's Gran Turismo over there, and that sort of thing. But God, what a setting. And I saw on the way down here, we saw minus 17 degrees C. So that's how cold it is here. Proper cold. I would love to take that on there, but it's not going to happen. So I'm going to quickly move it down to the car park, and then we're going to jump in these and see how it all works. We are in the Grecali to start. And here we go. I've got to get it up to 50. There we are, 52.
Yes, sir. 48. Slide back on. You can turn back. And please make a sign on the base.
Well, we now know how to emergency brake in a Grecali. We've used 4% of battery in it, and it's very nice because it's very warm in here, 22 degrees, and I've got the heated seat on. Right, well, we've swapped to Gran Turismos now, and this track looks a lot more fun than the ABS test. Right, let's see what we're going to do. Do you want to just swing round? Now this is the first time, we've got there's 761 horsepower, these electric Gran Turismos. And we're now driving it with all systems off for the first time, and I'm intrigued to see how many people spin. I will do my best to spin, so I know what it's like. That is so slippery. Nearly got it. Yes, 18 kilometres. Just ice. Not the quickest little circuit, but always fun. Well, that is the end of the Maserati drive experience on ice. It got pretty out of hand at the end, as expected. The ice sort of came through, all the snow cover had gone, so it was very slippery, but all good fun. 761 horsepower were not deployed, unfortunately, today. I'd love it to be a bigger open space, but that's for tomorrow. We're going off to the ice in Saint Moritz, and we've got the Ferrari experience to come. But yeah, huge thanks to Maserati for that experience. And yeah, now we're headed back to ice and see what's going on there. Well, this is day 2 of the ice at Saint Moritz. We're here day 1 and came to day 2 just to tidy up some of the things I didn't cover in day 1. And what I hadn't realised, having never been to this event before, the Friday and Saturday have a completely different feel. I had hoped to take you round some of these cars in more detail that I didn't have time yesterday. I was finding my feet. But today is more about going on track. They have this sort of paddock area and you can no longer walk round the cars without the right sort of pass. And it is rammed. I can't get over how many people are here. Still a glorious event because the weather is so perfect, the setting is off the scale, and to watch the cars go, just behind me is this track. There's an oval track here and they're allowed out in batches. They have the hypercars, they have the Barchettas that are over there, they had the livery cars, that group with the Stratos and the Audi Quattro rally car and all those. They were historic liveries. That's what that class was about, the martini stripes on that beautiful Lancia S4 Integralia S4 rally car. I think it's a tough call which one was the greatest. The Lancia Stratos, got it, Air Italia, was the winner of that class. And yeah, in the supercar class, one of the surprises to me when you see this lineup, including this F1 and the Zonda and everything else, it was actually the Jaguar XJ220 that won that class of the hypercar through the areas, what that meant.
Oh, das ist so geil.
Well, after an amazing few days in Saint Moritz, it is time to head home. Beautiful weather again. We've just called in at the Myers Manx Cafe, filled up with 100 octane fuel, Shell fuel, which is very nice to have here, and a wonderful little cafe there as well. But we're going home a bit of a daft way from Saint Moritz. We could just go straight through Switzerland, but there's two things I've always wanted to do when I'm in this area, and that is there are a couple of trains that take you into the Alps, and we're staying at Andermatt tonight. And it's the last way you would get from here to Andermatt, but I just want to try these trains that you just rock up and they go through the mountains and cut out the passes, which you can't do at this time of year anyway, and you get there and you can pay as you arrive, get on the train, and it takes you, basically we're going to do the Furka pass but with a train, a tunnel to get to Andermatt. Quick look at the map, Saint Moritz is there, and then we could get to Andermatt, which is there, by going this way. This would be the sensible way and you drop down to Andermatt, but we're basically going to head down into Italy. You want to get to Iselle, which is here, and then this is the pass is here. That is closed, but you can take the train from Iselle to Brig. So we do that, head up beautiful road through the Alps up to here, to the base of the Furka Pass, and then we take another train that dumps you just outside Andermatt, and we'll get to Andermatt that way. Mad bit of road here. You can sort of see out the side window. Just look at the number of hairpins here, really close together. Can't say it's great fun driving it, but it's just, we don't get roads like this in the UK. This is as you drop down into Italy, if you take the road out of Saint Moritz. Good. Well, I'm just looking at the navigation and we're 1.8 miles away from Iselle, which is where this train sets off from. If you swing round, it's getting suddenly wintry. You sort of go down into Italy. As you drop out of Saint Moritz, there's a bonkers bit of road, and then it gets a bit tangled in a bit of Italy, and then you're on autostradas round the lakes, and then you're going back up, and it's getting all very wintry again as we come up here, and more snow obviously, and a typical bit of Italian roadworks. What happened there? Is that a big hole that's just appeared or something? I don't know. Something happened to the road there, isn't it? Very odd. But yeah. But we've only, do you want to have a look at the nav? Yeah, you can see Iselle. We didn't actually know what to put in, but the Station de Iselle, so whether that is the start of the tunnel, we're not quite sure. We tried putting Simplon train or something like that in, and it just didn't seem to come up. So I don't think it's very far away. All right, let's have a look. Is the pass open? That's the other thing I wanted to know. Oh, it's got lots of stars. What's it saying? Brig, 1512. Oh, well, that's all right. So, right, well, that's what we're aiming at. That is the train we're going to get to Brig. I don't know what those stars. Was that the pass closed? Possible ice on the road has just popped up. It's obviously getting colder. Reservation, I don't know. 1512. Anyway, that's what we're going to do. Time now, 2:36. So that's not too bad. Right, is this it? Is this the station here? Let's have a little look. Station Isel. That must be it. It's all very odd. It's not clear, is it? We go around there. Is that up there? Is that where we're heading? Never done this before, so it sort of looks right, doesn't it? Isel to Tranquil to Brig. Yeah, there you go. Isel to Brig. That's where we want to go. I didn't manage to buy this pass online before you came. I did actually do the Furka pass. That one. That was very easy to do, and it even downloads to your wallet, and it has a QR code. Here, I don't know how it works. Anyway, we're going to get looked at. So I suppose, yeah, we better cut out here because this is obviously police, because we're actually going into Switzerland. Right, well, we just had to show passports, and that was all. No sign of buying a ticket or anything yet. There's a couple of cars behind us. The blue car that was in front of us was, for whatever reason, disappeared off and decided not to go on this. Anyway, obviously quite quiet at this time of year. I'll go down there. I really don't know what I'm doing. Well, maybe, I guess this is where we load then. Right, so I go behind him, I suppose. Is that it? I'll go behind there. How bizarre. There you go. 1512. Oh. And we park up. Look at me. Well, it's a different experience, isn't it? It's actually the longest tunnel in the Alps we are reading, and it takes about 20 minutes, and you actually pay at the other end. So yeah, we'll wait here, 1512, and get on the train. So the train driver seemed to go for a walk down the carriage, and he's just reappeared, moved the cone, and on we go. So how bad is this? Yeah, you're going to get, would I get the McLaren on? Yes, I would. Yeah. It's not exactly a Euro tunnel. What is it getting upset about? No seatbelt. Parking sensors are getting upset. One thing I don't know how to do on this car is how to turn them off. But anyway, there you go. Fairly rudimentary carriage. Probably best not to park in the middle of a carriage, in between the carriages, as it were. Alright, there's a guy at the other end.
Reminder, turn on your headlights.
Right, thank you very much, Waze. Top tip. Right, so do I go on there? I think I do, don't I? Yes, I'll get on there, won't I? Right.
Reminder, turn on your headlights.
Oh, shut up. Right. Just be warned, when you get on the train, you sort of, they carry on loading it right to the last minute. And there's no warning, no announcements, no nothing. And suddenly you think, well, what's that? And the train sets off. And yeah, it gives you a bit of a jump if you've been sat there for 20 minutes. But anyway, we're now off. I can't believe no one has walked down the train to check that no one has actually parked over where the carriages sort of join. So I'm looking behind me. There you can see in the mirror. There you go. You can sort of see the train has obviously bends, and if you parked across that middle bit, all hell would let loose. Well, they don't seem to do anything about it. Anyway, we're going into a train. Sorry, we're going into a tunnel for the next 20 minutes. I'm going to put my window up. It's a bit noisy. There you go. No lights. Oh, very odd. Very, very odd. There you are. Let's see. What can you see? You can probably just see in a mirror. That's the... And oh no, we're coming out of the tunnel now. I didn't expect that. I thought it was a continuous tunnel. It must be, surely. Oh, there we go. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Going up in the mountain, going somewhere up there. Oh, here it is. Look, it says this was built in 1898 to 1921. Proper boys. And complete darkness. Complete darkness. Again, in the mirror, you can just see daylight disappearing. That is a bit creepy. And that's what the navigation seems to know what we're doing. I'm going to turn that off, I think, and have... How do I turn it off? There we go. There we are. Complete darkness. Ooh. It's a very odd feeling on this train. I'm sorry you can't see us, but you're in pitch black and it's more bumpy than I thought it was going to be. And we now seem to be going downhill and slowing down. So I thought we might be seeing daylight again any moment, but no clues, nothing. No announcements, just no idea. It's very different to Eurotunnel. Do want to swizzle around to see out the front. 4, here we go. I think we have daylight. I think we do. Yeah, that is. Here you go. We're in Switzerland. God, big station. Well. Weirdly, your phone does work all the way through the tunnel. Tickets online. Wasn't working when I tried. That's good. I'm actually going to just turn the car on. And then this should say our next route. There we are. CarPlay comes up. Bing. Yeah. So we've got an hour to go, and that's going to take us to the Furka Pass, and then we do it all over again. See if it's less rustic, shall we say, than this one we've just been on. And there's police up there as well, so I think we have to show passports and things. Oh God, we're off. God, they don't hang about, do they? Well, we just got asked where we were going. They didn't actually check the car, but the car in front got checked, and then you come through here, and then you pay. And it's about £25. It's 27 Swiss francs. Well, yeah, you just scan your card, and off you go. Contactless payment, and yeah. Very interesting experience, and beautifully sunny this side, so thank you for that. There you can just see Furka. Oh, well, there you go. You've got the Furka actual train marked up there. That's our next stop. Yeah, you can see there all the passes are closed. Furka Pass is obviously closed, but Furka train is open. It's a very scenic road in between the two trains, I have to say. We're only 5 miles from Oberwald, which is where the train goes to over the Furka Pass. He's over that lump there. Mighty impressive. Plenty of snow, plenty of skiing activity, and some lovely old villages full of timber and old buildings. Very pretty part of the world. Well, with no warning, there it is, Furka car train. So it's actually before you get to Oberwald, as I've just discovered. And this, somewhere, if I go off to the right here, we will find another train. It's quite quick between the two trains and very scenic. I suppose it's quite nice being here in the beginning of, February, where are we? 1635. And we're at 1617. Perfect timing. Right, here we go. Right, I'm going to nip out here and we just see how this all works. I have that, and I think I wave this in front of that. There you go. And just like magic, that does that. How cool's that? There we go. And we join the queue. There he goes. There's the ramp. There it goes. And off you get. There you go. It's not Eurotunnel, is it? But it's very useful. And a new way to get across the Alps in January, February. Still quite narrow. I was coming in with my Aventador. It might be a bit of a struggle. Or the Zonda, yeah. Yeah, I would check the width of this before you book your supercar onto it. Don't panic, car, it's alright. Good, we're loaded. And this one is, I think it's 15 kilometres long when the last one was 20 kilometres long. It doesn't take very long, it's about 15 minutes or something. Yeah, seems to be quite smooth at the moment. You can see in the mirror there's everyone else watching daylight disappear. I wonder if we get plunged into darkness again. Ooh. Off we go. Just see the front. Oh no, now it's a single track tunnel. Yes, so it only opens up at the other end. There we go. Yeah, and there's no lights in this one. It's like travelling on the tube. Oh, there's a window coming up. I can see daylight again. Why has daylight appeared? Oh, it gets quite scenic. Proper wilderness. Little bit of skiing. Yeah, elevation here, what's that say? 1,380 metres. And now we're going to a proper tunnel. What a Too right. I'd love to. I was just thinking it's a bit too small, the pile. So if you can find some more, that'd be very good. No, I didn't know about that. Okay, I'm going to ring off because I've just got to do a piece to camera and I'll ring you back. And here we are. We've just popped out the tunnel. Again, very scenic. You could only be in Switzerland. Nice ride, smoother than the last one. And look down this side and we just come into the train. More snow this side, if anything. How high? Do we know how high we are? We're only about, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes from Andermatt as well. It does actually save a lot of time. But yeah, we're at 1,530 metres. And there is the platform just appearing down there. There's the train behind me. It's quite big, and we passed a train in the tunnel. There was a sort of lay-by, and yeah, just pulled into that. This one was actually slightly more expensive. This was 33 Swiss francs, so about £30 to do this one. There's no hanging about. Literally, we've been stopped about 30 seconds, and you're off. It is very quick. I'll give you that. Really quite efficient. There's yeah, no passports, no angry looking police, security people. because we're actually still in Switzerland, and you're out of here. I think I'd still do the Furka Pass in the summer because it's pretty special, but it's just a nice way, a different way to enjoy the Alps at this time of year, rather than using the big tunnels, Gotthard Tunnel and things like that, and just do this way. Look at that. Yeah, Andermatt, 9 kilometres, and that's where we're staying tonight. And the time now, 4:52. Have a quick look at the Gotthard Pass to see how open it is, and it's very close, as you can see if you look at that. Yeah, no chance, all just a big car park. They don't bother clearing it at all at this time of year, and that's why we've used the train. But I thought I'd just have a look, see if I could do the first part of it, and there's no chance. So we'll head back to Andermatt. Well, morning. Yeah, we stayed in Andermatt last night, and as you can see, this morning we woke up to a little bit of snow. Nothing too bad, but yeah, I wasn't expecting any snow, so it's quite light. Yeah, quite light and powdery. Actually, it's not frozen on, which is good. It's relatively warm. It's like -2 from where we were. Yeah, we got down to -15 and things. I'm just checking the wipers. Yeah, they're not frozen on the screen, just in case I left them on. Let's just have a little look inside. Is that going to open? We're all right. Yeah, I'm going to think I might miss this off, actually. What am I going to do? I'm going to just start it up, I think. And try and get some bit of heat into it. How many miles? Yeah, we've got about 730 miles to do to get home, and it's yeah, it's mainly motorway, unfortunately, but it's the big dash. There we go. Possible ice on the road. Yes, I think you might be right there, Maserati. There might well be a bit of ice on the road. Should do this off the windscreens. I've got a scraper in the back of the car. I don't really want all the snow going in the hatch if I open it up. Where is it? Can't remember where this boot opens. It's there, isn't it? It's not a bad boot on this, I have to say. It's quite long. It's because it's like a coupe. You don't get the sort of space up here if you're going to put dogs in the back, but putting big bags in the back, it's very good, actually. I think hiding in my RAC rescue bag is a scraper. There we go. It's not better than nothing. Always on this car, everybody looks for how to close the boot up there. It's actually down here, and it takes a while to go down, and you think, have I pressed it? That's how it works. This is nice snow, because this is proper powder. So it literally has just come down. So, go and fuel up and head out. It's beautiful, Andermatt, actually. It's a really lovely spot. Came in last night, sun was just going, and it's just this hidden little gem, and a wonderful fondue last night as well. But today, stack of miles to do, 12 hours travelling. It's the idea I'm going to fill up now, and basically you'll rejoin me in the UK where I'll do a debrief in this Maserati Trofeo, and I'll give you my likes and dislikes that I've found out over the last few months, about 2-3 months of ownership. I love the road out of Andermatt. It's an amazing bit of road. I can't get out and sort of film outside, but it just drops you down out of Andermatt ski area through tunnels, hairpins and things, and then you just link on to the motorway. It has really good links, Andermatt, if you're going to base yourselves out. They are building the most enormous sort of hotel complex. There's a lot of construction going on in Andermatt. So yeah, I can see it becoming more of a base, and it's an epic base if you want to do the passes in the summer and things. But unfortunately, yeah, we've got to charge off back to the UK, but it's just a lovely way to leave the Alps is via this road down onto the Swiss motorway network. Don't get roads like this in the UK. Well, we're back in the UK. What a trip that was. Although the last day getting back to the UK, my goodness, it was wet from, well, most of France, and then epically wet when we finally reached the UK. It just will not stop raining this month for whatever reason. But yeah, in all, it was, I think it was 1,800 and something miles in total we've done. And it just means that I've driven this now for 3,600 miles since I picked it up. Just a little has to be done, squirting out the hill. And yeah, it arrived end of November. And so yeah, we've done all right doing, you know, that many miles, but half of them were the trip to Switzerland. And yeah, I think it's time I just sort of rounded up how I've got on with this car in that time. And I can't help but reference that we had a Range Rover Sport for I think 3-4 years before this, both in diesel form and plug-in hybrid form. And to move to this car, the Maserati Levante, in a pure petrol car, yeah, it's been quite a change. And I was slightly apprehensive because there's no arguing against it. The Range Rover Sport of today is a flipping good car. But I just wanted something with a bit more excitement. And my goodness, did that happen. And I was discussing with Mrs. M. I said, I've got to come up with some criticisms of this car because it's just slotted in really easily to our life. We both use it, jump in it, and yeah. And I said, no, we've got to think of some things that aren't quite right. And we're struggle. It's just silly little things like the parcel shelf has a slight mind of its own. When you go to close a boot, it's not where you want it to be. And I suppose, if personally, the only thing I can slightly criticise it on is it not an epic looker. It just has some slightly bland features, especially from the rear. It's sort of recognisable as a Maserati. There's no mistaking it when you see it coming towards you, but at the rear it's just slightly, could be a bit braver on design. But it's not embarrassing, it's not ugly in any way, it's just not quite as striking as you'd like a Maserati to be, I suppose. So fuel consumption when you're squirting around locally is not great. You're in the teens, which after, experiencing 40, 50 miles of free motoring, as it were, on electric and a plug-in hybrid Range Rover, you sort of miss that you haven't always got that range. You are visiting petrol stations more often. But the little proviso there, fuel is incredibly cheap today. Historically, we're back to 2011 prices. If it had gone up with inflation, we should be paying £2.20 a litre. Instead of that, we're paying about £1.29 around me. So that's the sort of man maths argument against that one. But the likes, as I mentioned, just the livability, the way it just clicks in and CarPlay. I never adjust the heating on it, that sort of thing. It just blends in way better than I expected it to. All the sort of funny little details that you don't expect to be good are really quite good on this car. Just always locks, opens when you come up to it. As I mentioned, the CarPlay, the heating controls, never touch them. And you just think, well, how can this be? How can it's much better sorted than I ever expected it to be. 2, after the Range Rover Sport, it rides better. It's just a more comfortable car to be in. The Sport was always a bit crashy. I think it's got oversized wheels and tyres that are extremely heavy, and you just notice that day to day. This is more live, and I've got it in Sport at the moment, but in normal mode it rides beautifully. Actually, in Sport it rides the same, and I have to press dampers to get stiffer dampers should I want them. And then the flexibility of the drivetrain, I can't get over it go from sort of serene and normal to properly wild, depending what I got. If I put it in Corsa, I just don't use Corsa in the winter. It's 2-wheel drive, traction control's off, and my goodness, you know all about it. You're going to be on your mettle to push it in Corsa in the wet. I love that. I love that there's this nonsense car that goes from one extreme to the other. The Radar Sport, very good, but it never had that dynamic feel. And this car still weighs too much at 2,300 kilos or something. Is just about 500 kilos lighter than the Range Rover Sport that we came out of. Huge amount, and you notice that in just the nimbleness and about this. This feels like SUV light. It's like a big sort of estate car, BMW 5 Touring, that sort of thing, rather than SUV. And you really notice it, like when you fill it up with fuel, you can look around the petrol station and you say, oh, yeah, I haven't got a great big slab of Range Rover in front of me. It is just lower and always kneels. The air suspension gets a special mention, the adaptability, the way you step out. You don't step up out of high, it just steps out. When you step out of it, you think you're in almost a normal car. And then you've got all the way up to off-road, which I think is a really clever thing. And then, performance. Oh my goodness me, it's quick. You would notice, if you're a regular watcher of Harry's Garage, I always do a sort of squirt up the hill to start off the road test as we go. The first 2 we did this, Range Rover Sport used always as a camera car, so we used this as a camera car. First time my son Charlie got in it was with the G63 AMG, and we did the squirt up the hill and he almost biffed into me, because this can show a G63 which way. It is that quick. And then the second car we did was actually GT3 Touring, and it did exactly the same to that. So when cars like that appear a bit steady, bit slow, when you're in your Levante Trofeo, you know this has got proper performance. And I've been on this Maserati, a few days away with owners and things, and I asked them, and Dutch guy is saying, I know one that went on the dyno, and it went well north of 600 horsepower, 620 I think he said. And I looked in the handbook, and if you put it into Sport, Corsa, then there is an overboost function. So yes, they don't tell you how much the overboost delivers, but it's properly quick. And you think on the French autoroute, there you are sitting at 81 miles an hour on the legal limit. You've got another 110 miles an hour to go before you hit the top speed of this car. So properly quick for what it is. And the final bit, the best bit of all, is the engine. It is world class. This red crackle Ferrari built cross-plane V8 is sensational. It delivers power, it sounds fantastic, it revs to 7.2, and to use a sort of James May colloquialism, I get a bit of a fizz every time I say I'll take the Maserati out, and that is precisely what I hope for when I pick this car up, and it's there. Months on, I still go, oh, take the Trofeo. Brilliant. And I think, you know, when I look around rivals, I can't believe I just basically forgot this existed. But I think it's like a Aston DBX rival is where I see it. And the Lamborghini Urus is good. I really enjoy that car. I'm, you know, slightly embarrassed to say so, but love the design of it. But the engine in the Urus is not as good as this Trofeo engine. It hasn't got the character. And I think the biggest car that suffers with lack of character from its engine is actually anything with the current BMW V8 twin turbo V8. So that includes the Range Rover Sport SV, Octa to a certain extent, obviously BMW's X6, X7s, but that V8 does not have much character at all. It's pretty bland, delivers numbers, and that's it. That is not what you talk about with this Trofeo. Just open the bonnet every now to cheer yourself up and see the red crackle paint topped off with that carbon fibre. Absolutely love that about it. So as you can probably tell, things are going pretty well. And one final thing, dealers. That's the other big difference I've noticed coming from Land Rover to Maserati. Completely different customer experience. When I first picked this up, I wasn't sure how to do the tracker and things like that, and I phoned Greypool Maserati, boom, straight on it. They knew precisely what to do, taught me through how to do the tracker, transfer a tracker from previous owners to me, booked the car in, went up there, and it just happened to be a sort of a morning they put on sort of monthly for owners. Met owners there, we ate cakes, had coffee, nice time while the car had its wheels changed. Just that was completely random, wasn't aware. And it was just a completely different customer experience. I asked about booking this car in after doing this trip. I said, have you got a long lead time, thinking I'd have to book it up straight away? Oh no, about a week we can do it. Just depends if you need a courtesy car or not. And it's just a premium, different experience. It helps at Greypool that they have Ferrari just across the road from where they are. But there's just a fun, feel-good factor, and I think Maserati owners tend to be perhaps sort of an interesting bunch anyway, and I just get that. So it's going...
Speed bumps ahead.
Thank you very much, Waze. Going extremely well, I have to say. Really enjoyed that trip. So good to take it on a proper Euro trip like that. And it was... Oh, the other thing, lovely seats as well. Just jumped out, did 700 something miles yesterday. Not an ache or pain. They're slightly firm. Some people think they're a bit firm, but I find them bang on. So, yeah, it's a bit of a eulogy in saying it's amazing, but so far that's my experience. I'm hugely enjoying it. Maybe I won't like it quite so much when I get it serviced, although I just dip the oil before and after. It's still right at the top on the oils. It doesn't use any oil. Who knows? So, yeah, there you go. That is my experience of the Maserati Levante Trofeo after 3,600 miles. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video and this trip out into Europe and seeing what we're up to. There's going to be this video on the ice event in Saint Moritz. I'm going to do that one separately alongside with the Ferrari Classica route on the ice as well. So that'll be coming in a week or so. So anyway, thanks for watching this one. Sorry it's such a long video, but I hope you thought it was worthwhile. If you did, keep watching, keep subscribing. More videos coming along very soon.